Let's fix this. Chances are if you're in an R33, you're probably doing this with a broom, keeping this trunk from falling on you. Reason being is these struts go bad really fast. They're a bit expensive, and usually if you can find them in Japan, they're going to take a long time to get here. So here at R33 Performance, we found a solution that's quick and cheap, and let's go ahead and show you what we got. So here we have our factory V-spec, R33 GTR, and this one has the new shocks. As you can see, that's dramatically better. The factory setup is actually a little bit smoother than this. This is a little bit violent, but it beats having this crash on you. We've actually had this fall on us working on these cars. It's not safe to have these struts blown. So this is our strut setup. Let's move over to the bench so I can talk to you about what it's all about. Okay, so this is our factory strut. Oh, there we go. Now everyone can see it. And that's the one not doing so good. We're gonna go ahead and replace it with this guy. So as you can see, they're not the same. They're a little bit different, but we're gonna change that. The factory strut has a bracket welded onto it that we're gonna be removing so we can install this one. Later in the video, we'll go over that. And this is our kit right here. This includes everything needed to make this work. And let's go through the tools needed to get the job done. So the first thing we need to do is we need to actually cut off the bracket after we remove the strut. Any sort of grinder or cutoff wheel will work. We need to drill a hole where our strut will go through and mount, and then we need a pick in order to actually remove the clip to install it. Oh, and let's not forget the 10 mil. So step one, let's make sure we put our R33 specific broom here to keep this thing from slamming down on us. We're going to come over here, we're going to take the two 10 mil bolts that hold the bracket to the trunk. Simply remove those. Okay. Once those are removed, we can actually pop this bracket loose. I made it look a little harder than it really is. Once we remove the bracket, you'll notice that you just have this ball end left over. This is actually impossible to press out in the car without breaking something. So we're gonna just do a simple solution to this. Now, this will involve grinding. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some blue tape and we're just gonna go ahead and cover up the car. Alrighty, so once you make the cut, it should be pretty easy to kind of wiggle off. There we go. We put a tiny little set in the ball, but that's okay. I don't know if the camera can see that or not. But essentially, let's see, where are we at? Are we gonna get there? There we are. Essentially all we're doing is we're just doing a nice little slice. Oh. You know what, let's bring this back to the workbench. Alright guys, so here you can see the cut we made. The whole point of it is we're just trying to slice it up so that it loses integrity and we can pull it apart from the ball. Okay, so now that we have the OEM strut off, we just need to salvage this bracket. We're just going to grind it off. Be very careful, especially if these aren't fully blown. There is fluid in there and it's under pressure. So we're going to try to grind it so that we leave some material behind so it doesn't leak. Just kidding. Okay, now we're going to let her cool down a bit and we'll get started modifying it. Alrighty, now let's make our hole for the aftermarket strut. Okay, so now the bracket's actually ready to go back on. Before that, let's put a little paint on it, make it look good, and also protect it from rusting. Okay, so while we're waiting for paint to dry, let's get the shock ready to install. So these cap ends literally just unscrew. And this one will be going on our bracket. And the other end will be going to the factory ball location. All right, so just to get a head start on things, we're gonna pull this clip up and over, and that's gonna release it so we can actually get it in the car. I'll unscrew it. And let's go over to the car. Okay, so this sucker just falls in place there, and then we just pull back up on this tab to lock it. And there we go. Now that is locked in place. Now that our bracket is dry, we're gonna go to our kit and we're gonna get our nut and our washer. We're gonna put our washer right there, bracket on top. And for now, we're not gonna tighten it, we're just gonna kind of snug it up a bit. And let's go install it on the car. So we grab 2 washers from the kit and put them in the threads. And now what we do is we actually thread this onto the end that connects to the ball. The reason we use these washers is if we don't use them, what ends up happening is the strut's a little short, so the hood doesn't quite sit at the same height as factory. So doing it like this makes it so that it does sit pretty darn close to it. We do lose about an inch of height, but it's almost unnoticeable. So now we literally just put a little pressure on it, get this sucker to go back in there. There it is. Now we grab our factory nuts and we start threading them in. Now let's tighten everything up. Don't need our broom anymore. Okay, so we have one strut done in each of these cars. This is the GTR that actually had somewhat of working shocks. You can see it kind of comes up by itself. And then this is actually a GTS 25. This one had it to the point where it was crashing down. The shocks are doing absolutely nothing. And this is just replacing one. Stays in place, still won't go up by itself, but we're getting somewhere. So now let's go ahead and put the second strut on and see the results. Okay, so now we have both struts installed. Let's see the difference. There you go. So the kits are available at rvperformance.com. It's a pretty simple install. It'll take about 45 minutes to an hour. So it's definitely something you can do at home or you can bring to your local shop. And it makes a big difference. I think the most important part about it is the safety. When these things fall on you, it hurts. So stay safe, everybody.